Today, I'm going to tell you about a time where I couldn't do it, but I did it anyway. A time where I had to figure life out without a manual, a guide, with just vibes, prayer, and pure strength. That was in 2008. But wait a minute now. Let's rewind to 2006 when I just found out I had won the DV lottery. Between gathering requirements, processing, the interview, medical test, and receiving my visa, I was finally approved and ready to go by the end of 2007. But because I was in school at the time, master's degree program at the University of Yaoundé 2 Soa, at aka Maîtrise en droit, my parents were bent on me finishing school before I traveled. When it was all said and done, in March the 1st of 2008, there I was standing at the Douala International Airport in Cameroon. My friends, my family, my loved ones surrounding me. A beautiful and emotional, but also a very heavy moment. The joy, the tears, the pieces of advice, the goodbyes, and it was last call, and I found myself sitting on a plane for the first time. Confused, excited, nervous. Every emotion hitting me in ways I can't even explain. I thought it was just going to be pure joy because this is what the dream was supposed to be. I was supposed to be finally excited to leave this country behind and go to these United States. The dreamland, or so I thought. But that's easier said than done because at 24, I was leaving everything that I knew behind me. It finally hit me like a ton of bricks and I busted into tears. And I cried all the way until we landed in Belgium. A couple flights later, and I find myself in Tampa, Florida. Oh my gosh. These are the United States of America. I kissed the ground, made a prayer to God, and said, give me the strength to bring my family to this land of honey. Young Black woman from Africa, stepping into a new country, trying to adapt and find her place. New systems, new expectations, new definitions of who I was supposed to be. It felt sometimes like I was supposed to erase what I thought or I knew I was and start on a clean slate. Now tell me, have you ever had to introduce yourself over and over and over again? Not just your name, y'all, but your identity. Because I wasn't just adjusting to a new life. At 24, I was carrying culture, my accent. Let's talk about accent for a minute, y'all. If you know, you know. See me in class trying to ask a question. Good morning, sir. My name is Ruth. I have a question. And everybody just stares you in the face like you're not speaking English, y'all. I'm like, no be English at the talk. Professor is like, okay, Ruth, ask your question. Then I'm like, my question is, and everybody bursts into laughter. Oh my goodness, the story of my life. I walked into spaces where people didn't always understand my story. Sometimes I was different. Sometimes I was just not enough. And other times I was just trying to breathe between it all. It was stressful, you guys, challenging and emotional. But I had to be strong for everybody else, even when I needed someone to be strong for me. Because remember, my family was still back home in Cameroon. There were moments I smiled in public, but deep down, I was carrying a whole storm inside of me. Wow, every time it hit a little deeper. Trying to fit in while holding on to who I truly was. Have you ever felt that type of tension? The tension between blending in and standing firm in your true identity? Now tell me, how did you survive that? Because for me, I prayed a lot, you guys. It was faith. It was resilience. And it was always remembering where I came from. Because as a Black woman from Africa, that is not weakness. That is legacy. That is strength passed down generation to generation. So even when the world around me didn't see it that way, I just kept going through the doubts and the silent battles, breathing through the moments where I had to work twice as hard to prove my worth, working twice as hard to be seen or just to be heard. And slowly things started shifting. I remember a time during an interview where a lady said, "Oh my gosh, I love your accent." I almost fell off a chair turning around to look behind me because I thought they must be talking to the girl behind me, not me. Then I turned around to discover there was no one behind me, and the lady said, "Ruth, yes, you have such a beautiful accent." And I thought, oh my gosh, the times when I had gotten laughed at in class, you guys. The times when I didn't feel worthy because I did not fit in. The times where I didn't feel seen or heard because I was different. But finally came growth. Finally came the small wins, the quiet breakthroughs, the moments that nobody applauded, but I felt deep in my soul. I started meeting people like me, women who were willing to give me a hand up and show me that I was worth something. People who reminded me that I did not need to fit in. And that being different was okay because that's what made me unique. The moment I found out my accent was actually a thing of pride, a piece of my culture that instead of shrinking about, I had to wear proudly. And now I walked into the room leading meetings by starting with, "Good morning. My name is Ruth and I am from Africa." Oh my gosh. The quiet pride, y'all, okay? I was so proud and it hit different because my hard work was finally paying off. My beautiful journey from 2008 till now. Look at the strength and look at the woman that I have become. Oh my goodness. A woman who did not lose herself. A woman who evolved. Instead of shrinking, she chose to rise. Instead of shrinking in the back and saying, "Sir, I have a question," I was now leading the pack in the front of the room saying, "Yes, who has a question?" Listen, y'all, okay? Now, I know I am not alone in this experience. So let me ask you something. What moment or phase of your life have you gone through that has made you the strongest version of yourself? Which of these moments do you think made me the strongest or the best version of myself? Because in this moment, I don't think I am done yet. I am still evolving. I am rising. I am becoming. Because if my journey has taught me anything, it is that there is power in where you come from and strength. Yes, strength in who you are and beauty in becoming. So feel free to share and let us know about a time that you surprised yourself. A time where you came at life without a manual or a guide and you just figured it out. Through the challenges, the fears, the inconsistencies. A time where you were smiling at the world but carrying a whole storm inside of you. A time when you spoke and before people heard your intelligence, they heard your difference. A time where before they saw your capabilities, they noticed how your words rolled. Unfamiliar, unpolished, foreign to them. A time where you had to repeat yourself, slowing down your words, watching people tilt their heads or sometimes dismiss you completely. A time where you had to translate yourself just to be accepted. To the African who's listening to me, remember that accent carries continents. It carries history. It carries your ancestors before you who spoke it proudly. So don't you dare lose it. Okay? Just be you and the world will learn to adjust. Don't lose yourself in an attempt to belong. Go ahead and rise in spaces where room was not made for you. Make sure you thrive, especially when you're underestimated. And let faith resilience, and remembering where you come from always be your watchword. Keep working hard. Keep going through the silent battles, through the moments where you might have to work as hard. And once you do that, speak clearly and speak once and let the room adjust. Do not shrink your voice, but refine it. Do not erase your accent. That is your power. Do not lose your identity. Expand it. Let the world understand it. Your difference is not your weakness. Your story is not your limitation. And your voice, accent, and all deserves to be heard. So, good luck to you, my fellow African woman, and happy Women's History Month to every woman who is still becoming. As always, my darlings, thanks for watching. Bye.